Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm so sorry that I haven't been uploading for so long, but today I'm here to cover the part 2 of my Form 4 Bab 8.1 Pelarasan T format. So I believe that I have already uploaded the PDF at my description box, the previous video, but I know that some of you may be new to my YouTube channel and you haven't seen that video before. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure to click this link above. I will link it up somewhere over here, okay, so you guys can press it and watch it first, because that part I'm covering for prabaya, belum bayar, belum terpulih, and belum terima. So after you've watched that, then you can come to this part 2 and we'll be covering jenis hutang instead. So we have total of jenis, three types of jenis hutang, which is hutang lapuk, hutang lapuk terpulih, and also Peruntukan Hutang Ragu. So mainly this video will be covering on those parts. I will teach you guys about what they mean and also how you're gonna insert it into your ledger. Okay, so let's begin with our explanation. Alright guys, so we're gonna start now for our jenis hutang. So total there are 3 types of hutang. You can just look at the anda dikehendaki to be clear about it. We don't have more than that. The 3 types of hutang are hutang lapuk terpulih, and also peruntukan hutang ragu. So it's very common that they always come out together with each other lah. But I would say sometimes hutang lapuk is here, PHR is here, but hutang lapuk terpulih is not. So I'd say the one that is always going to come out is going to be peruntukan hutang ragu. Okay, but for hutang lapuk terpulih, then it's like a 50-50 chance, depends on the question whether they want to ask you about it or not. So usually why I said that hutang lapuk and peruntukan hutang ragu would come out more often is because PHR might be affected if you did not calculate the hutang lapuk out from your account belum terima. So that's why it will make your number different, which most students will get not to imbang their imbangan juga, their penyata kedudukan keuangan like that. Okay, so for now, we're going to start explaining the basics of these 3 types of hutang first. Now, first of all, hutang lapuk stands for what you guys need to understand. Lapuk is actually meaning as dihapuskan. So why are we doing the hapus step, from our hutang? So there's a lot of reason one, okay? It's mainly from our customer, okay? That's the problem. Our customers might not be able to pay us back, but you see, this is a risk that we already chose to take when the moment I sold to them, jual secara credit, but then now it's already confirmed that they don't want to pay us. So what's the reason for them not paying us? It can be them being muflis, okay, declared bankruptcy. It can also because they are tidak siuman, something's wrong with their mental health and stuff like that. So they couldn't think straight, cannot work to earn money to pay us back. So then other than that, it can also be just melarikan diri and purely just don't want to pay us back. So then this happens, we gotta accept the truth. So what you do, you will have to take it out from your account belum terima. So this hutang lapuk is always mistaken by students that we will take money out from our pocket or even from the bank of our business, but actually it doesn't, because hutang lapuk initially was in this form, account belum terima. We were just accumulating as time goes. As my customer buy from me, I get jualan secara credit and ABT will keep growing. So in that term, I say ABT is not something we have gotten back yet. We just treat it as something we will get in a short period of time, probably in a few months' time. So I put it temporarily as an asset semasa, means harta perniagaan in money form already, okay? But have you gotten it? Not yet. So now that it's confirmed I cannot get the money back from our ABT, what we will do, we will just change the form of asset semasa. I will take it out from ABT to become my belanja. So I will have to bear with the amount because I did sell my items to them. My inventory, my barang niaga is already gone. So who's going to bear with it? We were going to bear with it. So that's why the belanja is after we moved out from the asset semasa. So hutang lapuk, right, is fixed pair already one. You will never do it otherwise. Okay, it will always be account belum terima alongside with hutang lapuk. Okay, so these 2 that we're going to do. So for account belum terima, we will minus out from it. For hutang lapuk, we will increase into it. So belanja and hasil is having the same concept, okay? Unless you're doing pembetulan kesilapan, then there is a chance for you to tolak from your belanja or tolak from your hasil. But other than that, I say basically Pelarasan will never require you to tolak from your belanja or hasil. It will only require you to increase them. So hutang lapuk is a type of belanja. So this is the first thing you need to understand. Okay, now continue. Second one is account hutang lapuk terpulih. So how did account hutang lapuk terpulih, or we just say HLT, happens? So this is how it goes. At first, this person we have already confirmed as tidak dapat dikutip balik. So I hapuskan already loh. But after a few years, this person suddenly came back to us. But the thing is, it's a bit, awkward situation now because I've already blacklisted them. And say a lot of students ask me, teacher, this customer run away. Then if they come back, how? So I say, no, we will never sell to them ever again because they will be under our blacklist. But if they were to pay you, you remember them as one of your hutang lapuk, would you not take the money from them? Of course you will, because the money was initially yours. So you will take it from them. But how should we record it? So you think this way. If you want to put it into ABT, you ask yourself, what does account belum terima means? ABT stands for hutang pelanggan. If I add it into ABT, it means that hutang bertambah. But no, I'm receiving money. Why would hutang bertambah? On the other side, if I put it on the negative side, why hutang berkurang? Are they a part of my ABT when they return the money back to us? No. Few years ago, already dihapuskan, no longer inside here, right? Isn't it? We minus from ABT and then we add it into hutang lapuk, then we put it as belanja already. So it's no longer inside this place. So why would I even put the money that they give us into ABT? So then what other choice do we have? Now depends on their payment method. If they want to give you check, then of course we will put it into bank lah. Money place, okay, increase. Otherwise, if they want to give you tunai, you add it into your tunai account. So this is where you do your first step. It's under bank or it's under tunai. So then the second step is every time as we record something, there must be two recording types. So system catatan bergu. So bank, let's say bank lah, is one of it already. Then how should I explain in my account bank that why did this money come in? From what reason? So I'll say this person was once my hutang lapuk, but are they now your hutang lapuk? They are not. So you need to understand that hutang lapuk is on the spot, like right now. Only I will call it hutang lapuk. If it's something past tense, means already happened like a few years ago, they are no longer your hutang lapuk. Okay, guys. So now I will have to create a new term for these people who pay me after being dihapuskan. So what will I call them? Hutang lapuk terpulih. Okay, so it was hutang lapuk, now they came back, so I just add on one more word to it, terpulih. A lot of students also ask me, teacher, why can't I just do it inside hutang lapuk? Because the thing is, hutang lapuk is a term means dihapuskan. So why would I treat it as it's a good thing? It's never a good thing. So I gotta create something that is different than the hutang lapuk term. So we add on the terpulih. Klasifikasi also will be different. It will become hasib. Okay, so the two steps for hutang lapuk, then it's gonna be plus into hutang lapuk, but initially minus from ABT. Meanwhile, second one, hutang lapuk terpulih, we will add into it, but then another side is into your bank ataupun tunai. So your two steps are done like this. Okay, now for number 3, account peruntukan hutang ragu. Peruntukan hutang ragu, right, is an estimation or more of like, I'd say, for safety purpose, because you see, all this account belum terima is not confirmed that they're going to pay you back. You are taking the risk, actually, okay? You allow them to take your stocks before paying. So they took already, they promise 2 months after they pay, but if they don't want to pay, what can I do about it, right? Okay, so peruntukan hutang ragu is to make sure that we don't overspend our money. Because you think about it, yeah, if I put ABT, I have 50,000 worth of customers owing me money. I put it into my asset semester, okay? What will happen is I will keep thinking I have this 50,000 with us, but in reality, do you really have the 50,000? We don't. So I want to make sure that I don't keep this in mind. I have a lot of money. Actually, we don't. So I got to estimate an amount, I think logical, which probably we can't get back from the total amount of ABT. So this one will be given by the question in percentage form. You just need to follow to the question. If they say 7%, you multiply by 7%. 3%, multiply by 3%. But just need to make sure that it's always based on account belum terima's number, and it must be the latest one. So over here, you guys can see the point number 3, right? It's like the example question for you guys. Peruntukan hutang ragu diselaraskan 5% daripada jumlah account belum terima. So it doesn't really need to be jumlah lah, okay? They can also say account belum terima bersih. Bersih, you guys should know, jalan also got jalan bersih. So how you find jalan bersih? You take jalan tolak pulangan jalan. That is where you get your bersih. Okay, so peruntukan hutang ragu is an estimation that I think I couldn't get back from my account borrowing table. So to calculate it, you have to borrow ABT's number, multiply by the percentage, and you should get it lucky. So the classification for PHR is a type of negative AS. Because as I said, it's an estimation. It's not something that happened. Even if I want to put it somewhere, it can only be just temporarily minus out from there. So if it doesn't happen, then I can still see the original number. So by the way, we're not going to be doing that, but I want to show you all, if you were to present it into your penyata kedudukan keuangan, your Peruntukan Hutang Ragu will go underneath of your underneath of your ABT. So once we have minus here, we have the original figure minus the PHR, and then we get a temporary figure, which I think I could get back. But if actually the PHR doesn't happen, this doesn't happen, do I lose anything? So no, you still have the original amount here. So that's the intention why I cannot do like hutang lapuk. Why can't I just straight away minus out from it? Because hutang lapuk is confirmed, PHR is not. Okay, so now how should we do the lejar? Okay, that's the problem. I'll say in penyata format, which is 8.2. Okay, 8.2 is very simple because I just need to modify the number, change it, and put them into AKP, then UR, and also PKK, and that's it. I just need the number. But in lejar format, I need to show them step by step. How did it become this number? Plus, minus, everything in detail I have to show. So now I will tell you what are the steps. Okay, so beginning by this imbangan duga here. Now they say, maklumat berikut adalah petikan imbangan duga perniagaan syarikat buku United pada 31st December 2020. Say, even though it's written imbangan duga pada 31st December, it doesn't mean that we will view these items as baki HB. Instead, we will look at it as baki BB. So let me tell you what's the reason for it, okay? Now, recall back to your Bab 1 of Form 4, where you learn your theory, okay? Kitaran perakaunan will start from document, okay? You start from document, and then you slowly go into buku catatan pertama, then proceed to lejar. Okay, so we stop here for a while, because lejar is where you find your baki HB and baki BB, isn't it? So then I will move it into my imbangan duga. But can you guys recall back, which baki do you move into your imbangan duga? Isn't it the baki BB? Because we wanted the correct position. The baki BB is always following to the original site for the classification according to sistem catatan teguh. Debit side is for asset belanja. Credit side is for hasil EPN liability. So how if you wanna take the correct position, you're gonna follow according to baki BB, right? So in a way, whatever you brought from lejar into imbangan duga was the baki BB of everything. So you see, looking at these items, I want to modify, I want to do some adjustment. So what should I start from? I will look at them as baki BB. I will look at them as baki BB. Now, even for hutang lapuk, it's the same thing as well. So I believe that from the previous video, I told you all that belanja and hasil shouldn't have baki left. But at the lejar step, we have everything baki. In order to move on to imbangan duga, the place that you cannot have baki is where you finish your pelarasan. Then you cannot have baki anymore. Because after pelarasan is where you decide this item to go into account perdagangan, untung rugi, or is it PKK. So we will not write any baki BB or HB for belanja dengan hasil item anymore. But for asset liability EP, they will still be the same. So remember, okay, for Pelarasan T format, belanja and hasil's account is always for us to find UR. In long is untung rugi. While asset liability EP account is for us to find baki HB and baki BB, because they will be brought forward to the next year. But belanja and hasil belongs to this year. So I pay finish, then that's it. I won't bring it to the next year anymore. But you say like asset bank, would you use it for this year and next year not use anymore? No, you will keep bringing it forward. That's why I said that AL and EP would need to have baki. But belanja hasil, no. Okay, so what we will do, all of them is our baki BB. So since we said it's a baki BB, we need to give them a logical date, right? I cannot put 31st December. So how? Okay, we will put 1st January 2020. So why is that? Because if my year end is 31st December and I wanted it to be 12 months, then the starting would be on 1st January, logic, right? Okay, so here we have our first step done already. This is where you get all the info for your Lejar. Let's say that you already wanted for ABT, hutang lapuk, and PHR, then you will just follow according to here. Okay, next we read the maklumat tambahan. First point. Pada 31st December, alright, year end, seorang akaun belum terima Pak Ali telah diisytiharkan muflis oleh mahkamah. So already bankrupt, okay, declare bankruptcy. So he cannot pay me back. I will have to accept the truth. Reality, I gotta, hapuskan hutang becomes a hutang lapuk. So the step is going to be hapuskan hutang daripada bakinya. Here, this is the baki of hutangnya. So we will write minus HL 1,200 ringgit. I would say you have to write the HL word in order to know what it is. Okay, so every time when you do T format, make sure your equation, when you want to put in the equation form, you also write the putih so that later you can keep track. Okay, why did I minus out from ABT? Because it is going to become my hutang lapuk. So I minus out from it is so that I can become a hutang lapuk. So these two are going to have a relationship. I'm going to add it into my HL, same number, 1,200 ringgit. So can you see now for your account belum terima, the latest amount, which is supposed to be the baki HP as ABT is an asset semasa, is going to be 11,000. 11,000. As for hutang lapuk, 400 plus 1,200 is going to equals to 1,600, which this number is what I want as untung rugi. Because hutang lapuk is not like those prabayar, belum bayar type of items. Insurance, sewa, they will have too much or too little. But hutang lapuk, no. It happens, then it happens. So I will just accumulate them. There's no plus, minus, or stuff like that. So once I've accumulated, then the jumlah is going to be the sebenar amount already. Okay, so next, we're going to go into the second point. Sekeping cek bernilai 500 telah diterima. Okay, we stop here first. Look at the keyword check. So I'm going to change the word check into bank. Okay, change the word check into bank. So I'm going to have a plus 500. And what's next? Okay, what's the reason I received this money? I'm going to explain, right? So they say, telah diterima daripada Kasim. So who's Kasim? Seorang pelanggan yang hutangnya telah dihapuskan sebagai hutang lapuk pada 5 tahun yang lepas. Now, is it still hutang lapuk? As I said, we live in a moment. Hutang lapuk must be something that's happening in this year. But it's 5 tahun yang lepas, so it's never a hutang lapuk anymore. But now that they come back, I need to give it a proper term to represent it well. So it was a hutang lapuk, but now that it came back, so hutang lapuk, add on a word, terpulih. So the short form will be HLT with plus a 500 as well. So the reason why I would put them out is because to let you see the relationship. Even if the question did not request for a bank, you would still be able to explain it later. How do your HLT increase? Or because I received the money in check form. So they will have a catatan bergroup, just that we don't need to prepare this section. Okay, so part 2 is that. Now, I didn't put it into my imbangan juga because there wasn't any old number before this. So HLT is a brand new account. Later on, I will just have 500 inside and close it with untung rugi will do. Okay, now finally, Peruntukan Hutang Ragu. This is the only one where we have to calculate according to the latest ABT with percentage. So they gave us 5%. I believe that most of you will get confused because our percentage is always based on 12 months, right? But PHR is something that we want to estimate. So there's no like exact months one. I can only say the entire year. I want to estimate about how much. So 5%. But if you say it's like susut nilai, or even like insurance, stuff like that, if they want to put in percentage form, then of course I gotta go according. We say 5. You have to go according to the months you borrow, stuff like that. But here, no need to have months. Just take the latest ABT multiplied by 5%. So do you see? 11,000. This is the latest one. So we don't care about the old one already because here is included a hutang lapuk, which already confirmed we can't get back. So why do I still need to be concerned about not getting them? So no lah, I take the latest one. So we will take 11,000, borrow multiplied by 5%. What is the answer you can get? 11,000 multiplied by 5% will be 550. So once we have gotten this, be reminded that Peruntukan Hutang Ragu is the term for this 550. But I have 550, we have up here baki BPO, and this is during 31st December. Every time maklumat tambahan is year-end one. So that's why this 550 is actually our baki HB of PHR. Isn't that say Peruntukan Hutang Ragu is a type of negative AS? So A, anything asset liability, EP, they will have BB, they will have HB. So what you gotta do? Write your process up. How did it go from baki BB 600 to become baki HB 550? What is the difference between them? There is a minus 50 in between. So what do we call this minus 50? It's actually our hutang ragu. So that is how it works. Later, we just need to copy whatever steps we see on hutang lapuk and also peruntukan hutang ragu. And as for hutang lapuk terpulih, no need to care much, just a 500 ringgit inside. Okay, so let's try to fill it out. Okay, now for first account, hutang lapuk starts from baki BB. Remember, baki BB always to be on the positive side, yeah? So I'm going to put it to the positive side of hutang lapuk. If you're not sure, make sure to label first. B symbol, positive debit, negative credit. Hutang lapuk terpulih, H symbol, positive on the credit, negative on debit. And now finally, PHR, negative AS, positive on the credit, negative on the debit side. So now, start from hutang lapuk. We said wanted baki BB in mind. Baki BB, we said to follow this date, 1st January 2020. So put it to the debit side. Put it to the debit side, 2020, January 1st. Baki BB, it was 400 ringgit. 400 ringgit. And after that, we said we wanted to add on 1,200. Oh, so sorry guys, I just realized I wrote something wrong. It's not supposed to put as HL because of course I can't write my same name into the same account, right? So I was supposed to put account belong terima here. I accidentally put as HL just now. So you see, here write HL, here write ABT. So they use each other to be the explanation. Okay, so sorry for the mistake just now, I didn't realize. So we're gonna write account belong terima as the explanation to why hutang lapuk has increased. So positive side again, but do not put 1st January because this is what happens in maklumat tambahan, year end. So we're gonna go below of the 1st January and put December 31st, account belong terima. Now, of course, you cannot write short form, but now since I'm just teaching you guys, to let you all know where's the positioning, I will write the short form, but during the exam, you have to spell out the full one, account belong terima. Okay, so it's 1,200 here. So what are we supposed to do? You just need to total it up. On this side, you get 1,006. Our intention is to get both sides to balance with each other. So what is missing? As a belanja, I'm going to move it into untung rugi. So remember, moving means pull out from the lejar. If I want to pull out, I put positive side. Makes sense, no? So pulling it out means I want to close the account. It should be on the negative side. So every time untung rugi, it will be on the negative side. Always untung rugi on the negative side. Okay, so let's put 2020. December 31st with your RM, put in untung rugi. Now guys, of course, you cannot use red pen during the exam, but now I just want to make it look more obvious. So maybe if you want to use another color, you can choose to use blue color. There's no wrong with it because during the exam, we are allowed to use black pen and blue pen. So you want to alternate, you want to show the examiner the marker that which is your answer more obviously, then you can use another color to represent it, so like maybe blue out of all the black. Okay, so untung rugi 1,600 exactly, and this account is closed. Finish. Next, hutang lapuk terpulih. Same thing as well, but the thing is I don't have baki BB, so it's much more easier because it only has 31st December. Where? Up here, the 500 ringgit. So we said we wanted it to plus 500, but from where? When? They would explain for each other. So let's go to the positive side of hutang lapuk terpulih and put in 2020 December 31st, bang. And it's a 500 ringgit. So to close this account, as I said, belanja hasil always got to end with untung rugi. So we will put it over here as 2020. Of course, your date got to be written properly. December 31st with your RM. Then you can close it with UR 500. And that's it. If there's only one number and they are ending on the same side, then you just need to draw a line to close it. No need for the total already. Okay, now finally, Peruntukan Hutang Ragu. I believe hutang lapuk and hutang lapuk terpulih shouldn't be a hard thing for you guys. It should be easy after you practice. But always students get so confused about PHR because there is a positive and there's a negative. Because sometimes, right, your Baki HP may grow, sometimes it may get lesser because it really cannot fix to a certain amount. Your account belum terima will be changing every year. So you cannot expect that it's always going to minus, always going to plus. So I say, if what you get is lesser, you write the symbol out plus or minus. Once you have gotten the symbol, you just need to follow according to the size. Like just now you see it's a negative 50, right? I just need to make sure I put the 50 on the negative side. And that is the intention why I chose to write it out in the middle. So you know the steps is going to be step 1, Baki BB, step 2, HR, and step 3, Baki HP. So we just copy according to this sequence and we should be done. Okay, so now let's put it into the positive side for Peruntukan Hutang Ragu for its Baki BB, 600 ringgit. Okay, so positive side 2020, January 1st. Baki BB, 600 ringgit. And what's next? Next thing, we're not going to put on the positive side because we said that it's going to get lesser, right? So go to the negative. We put 2020, the date we found out the new PHR, and also the difference is on December 31st. So what do we call the difference? Say there is two types of way you can write it. Is either you put it as HR, which means hutang ragu, or you can call it untung rugi. I'll explain to you guys why. Okay, so let's write first. Yeah, you put the HR and the UR, and then you will end with Baki HB on the other side. So it's a logical one because every time BB and HB should sit on the opposite. So you get it to be 550. So did you guys see? Step 1, step 2, step 3. Follow accordingly. So then we can just close the account with 600 ringgit. Then what's next? Move it to the opposite side, becomes 2021, January 1st, Baki BB. 550. So this is the amount that we feel scared about not getting back. Okay, instead of like compared to last year, it was 600, now it got lesser. It's actually good news. So now I say, why is it that I say you can write both, either HR or UR? It's because for this question here, they did not request for further items already, unless here is they put as account UR. Now, of course, then all of them must end with UR. So for Peruntukan Hutang Ragu, even as a negative AS, I will also end with UR because they didn't ask for me to open account Hutang Ragu. If I open account Hutang Ragu, then I would have just find the UR from here, because HR can be belanja, can be hasil. We can do the catatan bergu first, hasil. And then find your UR right here. But then the thing is they want to skip the step, right? They go straight to UR. They've got no choice but to just go by UR. Then this number, you see, when I post it over, isn't it at the hasil side? Credit. So it's nothing wrong. We will just put PHR. Nothing wrong with it. But like this question, right? They didn't give you any later parts, means you can freely choose. You want to put hasil, you want to put hutang ragu, or you want to put untung rugi. Both also possible, can be accepted. So you need to see the situation when to write which one, or is it both also acceptable. But I'll say if you want to be safe, then the best is you choose to go with UR unless you see that at the back here, number 4, instead of account UR, they say account hutang ragu. Then that is the decision you have to make. The moment they say is HR, means move it to HR. They never say HR, they say UR. The next step is to move it into untung rugi. Is it easy to choose like that? So if there's none means UR, HR, both also acceptable. Okay, yeah, so that's it for today. I hope that you guys learned from this part 2 of the video. So guys, if you guys like my video, please subscribe to my channel and also share it to your friends who need the help. Okay, so I'll see you guys in my next part. Bye bye.